After reading the two novels, The 57 Bus and The Watch That Ends Tonight, we found a common recurring theme of failing safety measures on public transportation. Emmy, can you give us a quick summary of The 57 Bus?
Sure, Alyssa. The novel The 57 Bus weaves together the narratives of Sasha and Richard. Both Sasha and Richard were high school students in Oakland, California, one of the most diverse cities of the country. But they inhabited very different worlds. One afternoon, a single but reckless act left Sasha severely burned and Richard charged with 2 hate crimes and facing life imprisonment. This is a true story of riveting exploration of race, class, gender identity, morality, and forgiveness. This story took place in Oakland. Alyssa, can you share more about The Watch That Ends Tonight?
Yeah, sure thing. The Watch That Ends the Night compellingly explores 24 haunting voices from the Titanic tragedy, even including the iceberg itself.
I would love to read that someday, Alyssa. Now that our listeners have gotten an insight on the books we read, let's make our way back to our original discussion. Even though these 2 books are so diverse and different when compared to one another, there is an underlying theme in both of these books that needs to be discussed. The incidents in each book were drastically different but happened because of these transportation methods and lack of safety and incident measures. The starting point of this discussion will be buses and their safety measures, as that was the main setting of the 57 Bus, also where the life-changing event of Richard and Sasha took place. More specifically, we will be discussing the AC Transit bus system in Oakland. Not surprisingly, there's about an even number of women and men riding these buses, but there is a great dip in the amount of African Americans riding these buses compared to Caucasians riding them.
What are the demographics?
So there's only 37% of African American riders that ride the AC Transit bus in Oakland weekly.
That is interesting because you did mention that Oakland is one of the most diverse cities in America.
Yeah. Also, only 69% of the riders ride 5 to 7 days a week. So this means that those 69% are people riding to work or to and from school or something. So Sasha and Richard were part of this 69%. There's new measures to help this bus safety. The AC Transit has a new program employing ex-gang members and other youth to ride buses in selected areas to prevent crime and violence at bus stops. They're also implementing community policing strategies and intervention strategies for at-risk youth, support and counseling for parents in stressed families.
That's very nice.
And when Alyssa and I called the AC Transit company, we called their community service. They were kind of secretive. It was really terrible. We kept getting redirected to different lines. We kept having to press 1, press 2, press 5, and it was just very annoying.
And very frustrating.
I think that in order to improve their safety, they really need to improve their community service so that people can be more aware of what is going on.
Yeah, of course. Something else that should be discussed are the safety measures of taxis. Different locations around the world will have different regulations and permissions with regards to taxi services. In some places, taxis need to be licensed or regulated, but that a licensed taxi is not guaranteed to be safe.
I kind of have personal experience that this is true because I've ridden lots of taxis and I feel that in some taxis I definitely feel safer than others because of the conditions or the people driving them.
Well, yeah, when you have a general idea of the distance to your destination or the direction, and now with Uber, you can track your journey and it makes you feel more safe.
Relating back to The Watch That Ends Tonight, it is crucial to discuss the safety measures and safety of boats.
The chances of being endangered on a cruise ship are quite low, probably lower than the risk of driving in your car to the cruise port.
Wow.
Passengers falling overboard, crimes and fires aboard cruise ships often make the evening news programs, making them seem commonplace, but most of these incidents are explained by unwise behavior, like climbing where you shouldn't, drinking too much, or other human cost factors.
And this makes a lot of sense because you never really hear about like big ships going down. It's normally just one person having an incident on a boat.
Yeah, at least not anymore. A fire on board can be devastating and life-threatening. This is a mishap cruise lines fear most. In February 2013, passengers were forced to live with filthy conditions on board the Carnival Triumph after an engine room fire left the ship drifting for 5 days without power or sanitation. However, most cruise ships have fire suspension systems everywhere with both mist and CO2. Modern cruise ships have sophisticated man overboard or MOB alarms using onboard cameras. Interestingly, you are more likely to go overboard if you are a male on the last day of a Carnival cruise. The chances are exceedingly rare that you will go MOB, about 1 in 2.3 million in a year. The incidence of crime on board is lower than most U.S. cities, and your chances of being victimized are generally pretty low. Cruise ships accidents happen, but they are exceedingly uncommon.
We've already talked about most of the most common public transportation methods, but we haven't talked about trains yet. Let's talk about BART, the Bay Area Rapid Transit train. And this is because BART runs through the same places that the AC Transit bus goes through. When I was looking at the different files that BART has on their website, I couldn't find anything that showed their demographics. And I was very sad about this because I was very interested to see how this was compared to AC Transit since, as I mentioned before, they do run through the same places.
Yeah.
BART has a new safety measure, and they're boosting the visible presence of police and BART employees. This is due to incidents that have happened recently. And you can also call BART Police Dispatch using their courtesy phones that are located in every train car. You can look at bartcrimes.com to see safety and incident reports. And when I was looking through, I saw a bunch of very low-key things, but then I also saw some more important things that need to be addressed.
With all of these modes of transportation, there still are accidents and crimes presented. However, if we continue to work on the safety of them, accidents and tragedies like what happened in the 57 bus and the Watch That Ends at Night will be less prominent.